Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters in Islam. Hope you're doing well, inshallah. I just wanted to kind of touch upon a section of Hadith in my library here. Um, I just wanted to kind of talk about, obviously, the importance of seeking knowledge, and obviously, we know the great virtues of seeking knowledge. Among them is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making it easy for the slave to enter into Jannah. The one of the fruits, you can say, of seeking knowledge is that you feel really good. You know what I mean by feeling good? What I mean by that is there's this tranquility, sakina, waqar that enters your heart. Angels descend, and alhamdulillah, there are many virtues of it. Specifically, I want to talk to the students of knowledge and the students who are wanting to study ilm of hadith, some of the brothers who are applying in the University of Medina, some of them who are wanting to study abroad and study and specialize in the science of hadith or in the knowledge of hadith. Now over here, you'll just about see, I have a section of that, and I have a section elsewhere. Here I have a section there. Maybe I can try to show later on. Anyway, one of the most important books when you're studying the ilm of hadith is, firstly, a hadith. So read the books of hadith, the sunan, the books which are considered to be very important. They're all here. It's on my desk here. They're all everywhere. Subhanallah. So, I mean, an example would be here if I just get it off. This is a famous book called Awn al-Ma'bud. Awn al-Ma'bud is the explanation of Sunan of Abi Dawud. Sunan of Abi Dawud. And obviously it's a big book when it comes to explanation. It's all in Arabic as well, and I don't think it's translated. The Sunan of Abi Dawud is translated, but I don't think this is translated, if I'm correct in saying that. But, as a Muslim, you should always try and read hadith. And reading hadith has been a thing which, is today still a thing that, is, I don't know why. It's like, why do I have to read hadith? Why should I read the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ? So we have this over here, for an example, the Sunan of Tirmidhi. Imam al-Tirmidhi rahimahullah ta'ala, and Shaykh Albani rahimahullah, who has actually explained at the next to each hadith. I don't know if that is clear. If you see, he says sahih here. So, you can tell what that means is that the hadith is authentic. It's sahih by Shaykh Albani rahimahullah. And Shaykh Albani rahimahullah has some amazing books out there. Among his famous collection I have here is this book here, which is Irwa al-Ghalil. And this is very, very famous, my brothers who are studying ilm hadith, in the science or in the takhrij and the hukm, where the hadith is found, and also the ruling of the hadith. It's just that he's taken some ahadith which are found in the book Manar al-Sabil, and he's done a takhrij and a hukm of that. And it's amazing, it's his works. And if someone really wants to know about one of my teachers when he was teaching me, or had a discussion with him, he goes to me, read this book. It's about 9 volumes. This is volume number 9. This is the index one. I have it here. He goes, read it and know how Shaykh Albani rahimahullah did takhrij of hadith. How did he basically, in other words, how did he say this hadith is found in this place, this place? We call this jam'ul turuq. We call this gathering the hadith in all its different parts. I mean, I don't want to make it a very complicated technical video here. Okay, some of you probably thinking, what's going on here? But, I mean, you got also the Sunan of Ibn Majah. Sunan of Ibn Majah, again, a great book of hadith. It's just pure hadith. There's so many. If you had to count how many hadith did we just look at, the Sunan Tirmidhi, Sunan Ibn Majah here, Sunan Abi Dawud. We've also got An-Nasa'i. We've also got Bukhari and Muslim, which are the most famous ahadith, most authentic book after the Quran is Al-Bukhari and Muslim. And the Ummah تلقت الأمة أي تلقت الأمة يعني بقبولهما يعني the Ummah has accepted Bukhari and Muslim to be the most accepted books after the Quran, most authentic. Yeah. So, not only the hadith, but I also advise some of the brothers to read the books of the science of hadith, and the one I studied is this book here, Nuzhatun Nadar. And this book, in fact, right at the end, it mentions something amazing. And the end is like, you could say it's like a blurb, you know, like in the novel you have a blurb, but not really a blurb, but it's he goes, هذا الكتاب يمكن أن يقال عنه دون تردد بأنه أهم ما ألف في علوم الحديث. He goes, this book, and without any doubt or without any kind of confusion, any ifs and buts, this book is perhaps the best book, the most important one that's been written in the science of hadith. And this book, again, in Arabic, there was one PhD student who did a whole translation of it and made notes and everything, and it was amazing. And it is out there somewhere. I don't remember the name of the PhD student. I think it was a sister, Allahu A'lam, mashallah. So this book, again, is the science of hadith. It's actually an explanation of Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani's first one that he wrote, which was Nukhbatul Fikr. And in that he didn't explain, he was asked to explain, and he did an explanation. It's quite a heavy book. You need a teacher to teach it, but it's very, very good. And inshallah, bi'idhnillah, I will teach this book, and I hope to actually explain it. There is a book before that, was Ibn Salah, his famous Ma'rifatu or Muqaddim Ibn Salah Ulum al-Hadith. And this book, again, is a very, very big book. It's, again, guys, I know I'm flicking through pages. You're probably thinking, well, he's not even explaining. He's not explaining it or what's going on. I'm just looking at pages and books. I know, but look, you just need to know these. If you haven't done this before, you just need to know the names of these books, because these books are very, very important. And inshallah, I really want to do another video on how to study these books. And these books are very, very important for us, for the Tullab al-Ilm and Hadith to study. And if you're going to go in the Jamia, if you're going to go and study and want to specialize in Hadith, then you have to read this stuff. It's important. It's not possible for you to become a scholar in Hadith and you haven't read even some of Ibn Salah's works. It's very important. Or Ibn Hajar, earlier on, the book that I was showing you, the one that's the most important one, perhaps, that's been written. I like this book here. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah ta'ala's little, you can say, Risala, and he kind of summarized lots of things that you'll find in Ibn Hajar and even Ibn Salah's works. So it's very, very good, and it's translated in English as well. It's called The Science of Hadith, Mustalah al-Hadith, by Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen. I have the translation in English somewhere. Yeah. So, that's the ilm. And there's more books. Al-Muqidha, there's Al-Ilma', which is a big book again. There's Al-Kifaya fi Ilm al-Riwaya, I have that there. That's even more bigger. Tadrib al-Rawi by Suyuti, rahimahullah ta'ala. There's also, I've got, the explanation of Alfiyat al-Suyuti fil Hadith. You've got, other books as well, various other books in the science of Hadith. But what is the science of Hadith is all about حال الراوي والمروي من حيث القبول والرد. It's all about, should this narrator be accepted or not, in a nutshell, really, really nutshell. But then there's loads of information on that. How the hadith is da'if, how is it sahih, how is it hasan. All of these things are very, very important. And furthermore, also a lot of people, they do ask about a beginner's guide as a talib al-ilm who knows some Arabic. You need to know Arabic. You need to know Arabic, guys. This is very important. Seriously, the brothers who really want to get into this ilm, you've got to learn Arabic. And if you don't know Arabic so good, get into it still, but start progressing in your Arabic language. People often ask that question regarding where should I start when it comes to ilm hadith as a beginner's guide. Where should I start? And I say, look, the scholars always advise the 40 ahadith of Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah. I have it somewhere here. The 40 ahadith by Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah. Anyway, after that, hadith in general, Bukhari, Muslim, the Sunan, ahadith. But knowing the meanings of the hadith and looking at the words carefully. There's a book here by Ibn Athir, rahimahullah ta'ala, and he has written this amazing book. It's called An-Nihaya fi Gharib al-Hadith wal-Athar. And this isn't a book on hadith. So what is it? It's actually a dictionary on the words of the hadith. On the knowledge of hadith, you might come across, what is this word? David, I came across this word speaking about the kuhul. Umar radiallahu an and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhuma, they're like the kuhul of the sama, of the heavens. I believe that's the hadith wording, if I vaguely remember. And subhanallah al-azim, and you think of this and you say, what is this word, kuhul? You don't really come across these words. So I looked into this dictionary and it said rijal, and anyway, likewise I came across another word when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said attat as-sama. What does it mean? Atta does the sama does atta? What does this word atta mean? It's quite a big word. You don't usually find it in a normal dictionary, perhaps. So I looked into here again, and it refers to the heavens squeaking. Attat as-sama. Anyway, it's a big word, and it kind of talks about it in detail. But it's Arabic to Arabic again. There is al-Muhit, there's Lisan al-Arab, but this is specific to hadith only. Only hadith. I mean, Arabic is all one, but, there are some differences here and there, but okay. Anyway, guys, moving on to the books of Rijal in terms of Dirasa al-Ruwah, i.e. studying the narrators of hadith. We're studying the narrators of hadith, then we have to look further to looking at the narrators, and there is a specific book called Tahdhib al-Tahdhib here, is where Ibn Hajar rahimahullah is amazing book here. Tahdhib al-Tahdhib. I have this one, is 4 volumes. Or is it? It's 4 volumes. I have 4 volumes. One of the students, one of my friend, he did a tahqiq of one of the volumes as well in Medina recently, in fact. I think that was his PhD or master's project, mashallah. And so over here, what is this book about? It's, for an example, we got a name. It's just names of narrators. Hudhayfa ibn Usayd. You may come across this in a chain of narration. Then he talks about warawa an, that he actually narrated from, and who narrated from him. Abu Tufayl was Sha'bi, right? And the level of this narrator, Hudhayfa ibn Yaman, Hudhayfa ibn Kurayb. I'm just on this letter. You've got, like, for example, if I go somewhere else, you got Hafs, bin Abdullah. You got all of these narrators, and then he talks about them. Qala ibn Ma'in says da'if. Abu Hatim, and someone else says ismuhu kada. And Al-Ajuri, another scholar, says such and such. So it talks about the scholar, the detailed information on that individual. Who is that person? Anyway, I don't want to kind of like make you feel like, what's going on. And yes, this knowledge requires you to be patient, and for you to read a lot, for you to be tired at times, for you to, so it takes time, brothers, wallahi al-azim. Anyway, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us tawfiq and sincerity. There's so much information. But I would recommend as a beginner, if you want to get yourself into the narrators, to get this book. You must get this book. It's just a dictionary again. It's called Taqrib al-Tahdhib by Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahimahullah ta'ala. It's one of his easiest books that anyone can read. So I'm looking for a name, any name. And I've got a video on this as well that talk about how I can find the name and how I use this book generally. So I've got, for an example, let's say if I wanted to know the name, I don't know, let's say tell me something about Ma'mar ibn Makhlad. Who is Ma'mar ibn Makhlad? Right, I find his name over here. I then next to it I find the letter Sin, which mentions where his narration is, and I believe that's An-Nasa'i. And over here then it says Thiqa. Thiqatun means that he is accepted, he's trustworthy, and it gives you a small little tiny biography. Then you got someone else, then you got someone else, and you got about 9,000 narrators in this one book, and it's all the narrators you find in the 6 books of hadith. Yeah, either all of them or most of them, Allahu A'lam. And anyway, but they are in the 6 books of hadith: Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Sunan Abi Dawood, An-Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, and At-Tirmidhi. And you know, if you don't want to get into ilm hadith, doesn't matter, you should still get this, you should still read about it, because it's important to know about narrators. It's important to know. And yes, a lot of the people say, Sheikh, the scholars have done this work of hadith. You have Sheikh Albani, you have Sheikh Shu'aib al-Arnaut, you have other ulama, mashayikh, kibar, who have actually explained and done this. What we should just focus is on the hadith sahih or da'if, and that's it, according to what they've done, and that's sufficient. I mean, yeah, as a beginner, and if you're not specializing in this hadith, yeah, no problem. That's what everyone does. But when you start to go into this ilm, it makes you love hadith more. It makes you memorize it more. It makes you understand the great effort of the scholars, and many, many, many other great lessons we learn from studying the ilm of hadith. As for those who say, oh, it's just research based, it's not really going to give you knowledge, then that's incorrect. That's absolutely incorrect. That this knowledge will lead you to becoming a sheikh tomorrow, inshallah, becoming a scholar tomorrow, inshallah. And if not, then at least you are someone who loves the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, loves the narrators of hadith, loves those individuals, and inshallah, may Allah resurrect us among the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in. Jazakumullah khairan, my dear brothers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.